What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Throttled Roots Podcast, recorded right here at our studio inside the world-famous Harley-Davidson, where you can get all your new and pre-owned motorcycles. You're looking for parts, they got them all here, and their service techs are the best. So if you're looking for anything Harley-related, Ventura Harley-Davidson is the only place to come and shop. And, of course, this episode is brought to you by our good friends, Law Tigers. 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. You ever get involved in an accident? Forget about the insurance company. They ain't looking out for your interests. They ain't looking out for your best needs. They're trying to pay you the least amount of money as quickly as they possibly can. In an accident situation, we're always stressed out about our motorcycles and everything else. Let Law Tigers, that team, help you and support you in that time of need. 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, the only people that we mess with, man. We got the business out the way, man. What's up, dog?
What's up, dude?
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man.
I appreciate you coming down last minute, you know,
Absolutely.
just hanging out and doing the thing.
I'm local, so it makes it easy.
I appreciate that, man. Well, I know who I'm talking to. Yeah. I know who's in front of me, but I always like to allow people to introduce themselves as they like to introduce themselves. Give the audience a quick who you are, what you about, man.
Well, I'm Dustin Ray. Also go by Life of a Viking God on Instagram.
Fitting.
Yeah. It's been with me for quite some time. So, like 14 years with a beard, so it kind of sticks. But yeah, I'm a local guy here in Ventura County, and
a rider, man.
Yeah, I'm a rider, man. It's part of my life, and I love my county and where I live.
Right
so
on, man.
I try to represent as much as I can out here.
It's a beautiful place.
We're lucky, man. We're
it ain't
really
cheap,
fortunate.
it ain't easy, but it's a beautiful place to live.
Yeah, well, when anybody says it's expensive to live in California, they don't realize we're paying for that sun and that weather. So
every single day, man, of every single minute, man.
We pay for weather, for
absolutely,
sure.
Man. Well, my circle with Dustin has been probably at least I can go. It's funny, man. I don't know if I sent you the picture. Did I send you?
Yeah, you did.
I did recently send you a picture from like 4 or 5 years ago, somewhere around the Rock Store. And it was probably even before that, you know, because, you know, Rock Store, Neptunes, you know, all these hills, you know, when you make these loops and you make these runs, you just start to recognize people and shit, man.
Absolutely.
And it was probably even well before that picture that I shared with you.
Yeah, I remember.
That I remember seeing you around. And I'm going to tell you what I remember. You had your son.
Yeah.
I think that was the very first time that there's certain things that are like core memories to people where you make that's how I remember that person or something, whether it's their voice or their this or that. But I think I'm almost positive it was the Rock Store. And I think you just rolled up, normal ride for you. And for me, I was like, fuck yeah, man. Check that out, dude. You had your son sitting up on front, up near the gas tank, mobbing with you, man. And I went, that's lifestyle shit. That's a dude that is raising his son in the culture and the lifestyle that he lives.
Yeah.
100%, man.
Yeah, I remember that day. And yeah, that's, you know, my son's name is Thorsten. And yeah, he's been riding with me since he was 2. So
how old is he now?
He is 9.
9 years old. Okay.
So, and yeah, we've traveled quite a ways, and yeah, for a long time he did ride up on the front with me. I definitely got a little flack for that.
I was gonna ask. I would imagine you probably get some shit out of it, you know.
Yeah,
but
I did. But it's kind of a double-sided sword there. So I got flack from some CHP officers there for a minute. And
like from a law level, you even got some shit.
Start on the law side of that, because my son is the most important thing to me in my world. So when I say this, I kind of have to put it all out there. So the cops, they were kind of like, you know, what the hell are you doing? You know, and I know the law really well. It's something that I try to always understand. And I know that in the California state law and in our code book, it doesn't say anything about the age of your rider and your passenger. It also doesn't state that their feet have to touch the pegs. So that being said, it does not say in the law where they have to be on the bike. It just says in the law, it states that you can only have as many passengers as pegs provided by the manufacturer.
That's it.
So
essentially 2.
On
a motorcycle.
It doesn't
2.
say where.
Doesn't matter where they sit.
Backwards, it doesn't say anything, man. And I laugh about that because it's, you know, I've had to sit on the side of the road a couple times and like really almost educate, you know. And I will tell you, I have never received a ticket. I've never been put in court. I've never had to actually prove my case because I know the law.
Yeah.
And I've even had a couple cops be like, "Hey, I'm getting with my supervisor, and we're gonna change the California DMV laws
Because of you."
Yeah. And here's my argument to that. As I said, my son's been riding with me since he was 2. If you go on my Instagram, you'll see. I just recently posted a little history there where it shows he's been on my bike since he was 2. And this is my life, man. My dad is also a biker. He's been in this world, doing this for his entire life since he was also 5. He was riding on a bike, and he's had a bike ever since. I also was on a bike from the age of 6, and on. And as soon as I turned 18, I got a motorcycle. Now we can't do that anymore in California. You gotta be 21.
Is that what you have to be now?
Yeah, 21 to get an M1.
Really?
Yeah, that's the insurance companies push that one.
Oh, jeez.
An
insurance companies screw it up for everything, man.
They definitely did. But basically, what it came down to was I wanted to provide my son with the same lifestyle. So what I did was I started him out young. I got him a 50 when he was 2 with training wheels, and then I put him on the bike, and we went and we had fun. And he was up front for a reason. So taking even with a sissy bar, man, could you imagine having your kid behind you at 2, 5, 7, 8, 10? And the thought of you know how it is when you got your lady, you got a backpack on, and the thought of them falling off is just, it's not a good thought.
Now do that with a 2-year-old.
Yeah, and the thought of my kid falling off the back of a bike, man, and then you get, the Karens out there be like, well, you shouldn't even have them on the bike. Well, that goes against my whole mentality of life, man.
Yeah.
This is my life. So I put him up in the front, and you'll see. I got a video up there. It's like 1.1 million views, and it's him throwing the peace sign, he's a badass, and he's now been seen around the whole world.
That's cool.
And the truth is like, he's safe up there. He felt, I felt safe, but it also gave him like a whole understanding of the control of the bike.
Dope.
It gave him an understanding that, he could see, there's nothing worse than being behind somebody. I can't say I've been nuts to butt very many times in my life, but you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't imagine just being like this the whole time.
Dude, I know the feeling. My wife and I one time, wave runner, Puerto Rico, long story short, she took the wheel. Holy crap, you want to talk about scared to death. No control, no nothing. You were letting this person just like, please don't kill me.
Yes.
And so I know the feeling. And if I could have sat in my wife's lap, I probably should have sat.
Yeah, for sure. He just squat down. So, like, needless to say, like, now he rides on the bike with me occasionally. He's 9 years old. He's kind of at that point where, he obviously sits in the back now.
Yeah.
I basically limited it till I couldn't see over his head while
Fair.
he was sitting in front for my own safety.
Of course.
It made no sense, I wanted him safe. I wanted him right in front of me, and I bring the cowboy mentality into it. Like, you get on a horse, you get on a saddle, right? Like, you're gonna throw, you throw your kid up in the front, man. You throw your lady up in the front. It's like a safety thing. It's like you're holding them, they're there. You got control of the whole situation. So, as
a parent, man, and as a dad to 3 girls, and any parent gonna relate to this. You're always going to be, and I know people are going to look at that and go, well, are you really putting your kid's interest in best heart? Well,
absolutely.
Maybe not, but a motorcycle is a motorcycle. It doesn't matter your age, whether you're 2 years old or you're 80 years old. The same inherent risk lands when you're 2 or you're 80. Totally, so we all accept that. But as parents, I am like, I don't feel, I know you would agree with this.
Yeah.
You wouldn't ever put yourself or your son or your children or your whatever in a situation where you don't feel like you are safe, in control, like in just a safe kind of environment. Now, you can't control factors of cars and
Absolutely
all that other
not.
shit, but what you can control is, hey, well, today I got my kid sitting right here on my lap for a good old time ride. Today I'm not going to go cracking the throttle
Absolutely.
at 90 miles an hour like I would if it was just me and my boys and I'm chasing them.
100%.
You ride and you go and you do things a little bit different. You're going to take all the precautions that you possibly can, but I like how you put it, man. I'm going to live my life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna raise my child the way that you feel is best to raise your child, and you're not putting him in, you and your child don't feel like you're in an unsafe environment.
No, like I said, I've been legally riding motorcycles on the street since I was 18. You know, my first bike.
How old are you now, Doug?
I'm 40.
40?
Yeah.
How long you had that beard now?
14 years.
14 years. So 26?
It's
26,
like 26. Yeah, 26, 28. Like right around there, I started like committing to it.
It's a commitment,
yeah,
boy.
to all the haters, there's a chin under there. So, but you know, you're right, man. Like you can't take in the factors of what other people can do. You know, one person's bad choice can ruin your life, right? Yeah, you know, and you can only make the choices you make.
Absolutely.
You know, and you're only in control of your own choices. So I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Like in the last couple of years, I've been a little limited on how much I put Thorsten on the bike with me. You know, I do. I feel, and there's a reason for that. Is I feel since COVID, a lot of people that just, it's almost like there's a little bit more craziness on the road. It almost feels like even myself I've only gone down once in my entire life on a Harley. So, and it was my own factor. Yep. But my own factor, you know, I have been hit by another car, but I didn't go down. The thing is all of those weren't my fault. Those were someone else's fault. And so it has, you know, and again, I think it comes with age, you know, getting to a point where I was a little young, you know, it's a little bit different mindset when I was doing that.
You had a more of a don't give a fuck attitude.
Yeah,
we all do when we're younger.
I actually just said this to somebody. I was like, once he made it past 5, I was like, well, he's a keeper. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, you know, now he's like, because, you know, when they get past 5, they're like, they start having a personality and they start having this like whole part of them. And I know it sounds horrible, but it's like at the same time, I'm like, I started cherishing him in a way that I think any father can relate to. You know, you always cherish your kids, but it's like I started seeing myself in this kid. And I had him on my birthday, so this is my mini-me, man.
Oh, his birthday is...
Yeah, we have identical birthdays. Wow. We're an hour apart from each other's.
I'm a believer that things happen for a reason, you know, and sometimes we have to figure out and sort out why those things.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's a connecting reason for that, man. My wife and I share a birthday. They
say, oh, that's crazy. Yeah. That's cheap. They say that if you have a child on your birthday, that you guys met in a past life. Like, you guys knew each other in a past life. My mom also, I think, jinxed me because she told me growing up, she's like, I hope you have a kid just like you one day. Well, I had a kid on my birthday, and he's just like me. So... But, you know, back to it is...
Only
like,
one? That's your only
Yeah,
only
I only
child?
have one.
Okay.
And, yeah, I just felt like I wasn't going to shelter my lifestyle. And this isn't a hobby for me. You know, I live this. This is who I am. I embrace it, the good and the bad of that. I think that's something a lot of people like to, you know, sugarcoat or hide. There's good and bad to the whole situation, you know. But I embrace it all, and it's not one of those things where I'm gonna retire from this lifestyle. This is who I am, and I'll, you know, my last days I'll be on a bike, you know.
That's a good way. That's a good way to put it, man. I was born and raised in this stuff, man. I remember from being, you know, 10 years old and my dad bringing all his biker buddies and all the guys to the house and having a beer, changing oil on their friend's bike, getting ready for a trip to whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
I grew up in that environment, and it's translated to me, fast forward 30 years, and it's translated to now me being the dad and having my kid over there. They're not maybe wrenching with me or anything, but they have... At least not yet. Yeah. You know, I give them tools, and all they do is fuck up all my shit. So,
of course,
you know,
they do.
But they are in that environment. They're in that atmosphere of. I was raised in the garage with these guys that everyone looks at it like. I mean, come on, people look at you and I and go, "Ooh, biker, tough." You know.
Absolutely.
But
I get judged on a daily.
All the time, man. But I was raised with around these type of individuals, people like you and I today.
Yep.
And I went and I go, man, these dudes they're cool. Well, they're cool, but they were the most like giving. Like they would pick me up from school when my dad couldn't pick me up.
They were real.
They would bring over food when we were kind of a little short on some food and stuff. You know, like they were. I'm like, that's character.
I got goosebumps, man, when you just said that.
I'm telling you, dude. Like,
it's same with my dad.
Yeah.
All his brothers would come around and show us a love that, I would be honest with you, man, my own uncles never showed me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And they were always there.
And it's all based around, isn't it a trip, man? It's all based around a machine.
Yeah.
It's a trip, man. It's around a machine with 2 wheels that can kill you.
Absolutely.
Like like that is the core of what is there, and then so much spawns out from that simple machine.
Again, I got goosebumps because it's like it's so true, man. Like that, and I guess I haven't really even thought about that. I mean, I have, but not in that same context. But like that 2-wheel machine is a part of me, but it is made a part of my whole entire life.
Yeah,
I've made friends across this whole country, like that I would have never met.
Yep.
I would have never interacted with. There's so much wisdom and things I've learned from some of the old heads, some of even the new heads. Like I've just learned so much with that community, and I say community, man, because it's not like it don't matter what color, religion, it don't matter about nothing, man. Like in reality, that one thing connects us all.
It's a trip, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's why I love your events, man, and it's like why I go to a lot of events, because it's like I don't think people realize, like, when you get to those events, you see all cultures, you see everybody from all walks of life, and everybody has one thing in common, and they can all sit there and communicate and talk, and even if there's beef on the street, man, like, you can still just put it all aside, and you can talk about a bike and a paint job and a performance parts, and like you can just put all that aside, and it's that one machine right there, man.
It has been like a staple in my life. It has been, I don't want to say it's the platform or the foundation on which a lot of my morals, because I get that from my dad, my stepdad,
Same.
God, a lot of the men that were in my life. But a lot of those men, that's what they rode. Those motorcycles are what they rode, and it is literally kind of shaped, and not in that way. And the motorcycle hasn't shaped my life, but the motorcycle part as being like involved in my life has surrounded me with like you. You hit it on the head, man. I don't ride a motorcycle. I never meet Dustin.
Yeah.
I don't ever see his son riding on the front of him going, that's fucking bad. I don't ever see that, right?
No.
If it's not for that stinking motorcycle or a motorcycle, man. So that's why we say, man, we have a saying around here, it's a lifestyle, not a trend.
Yeah.
I say the same thing. It's a thing.
It's not a hobby.
You say it's a lifestyle, not a hobby. It's in those same lines, man. And when I try and preach that in a loving and like passing the torch way, not in a I'm better than you way. I try and preach that to some of the younger generation, like, hey, once you bite your teeth into this thing, like really sink your teeth into what this culture and this lifestyle like will give to you. Yeah. And like give a little back to it, and holy crap, man, watch like what happens, like not only just with friends, but your way of thinking, your like if you kind of dive in, it's amazing the portals that this thing will do, man.
Well, and I just want to speak to the haters that'll probably come after me about saying the hobby thing, because I get it. Some of it's a hobby to people, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, and I'm not saying that everybody's got to live the life, you know, and hobbies are cool. I have hobbies too.
Yep.
But if you really get on a bike, man, you realize, like, it isn't you. Tell me one person, and I'll say man or woman on this one, but tell me one person that's owned a bike, had a bike, rode a bike, did all those things, gone to events, non-events, rode long, non-show, everything about it, and then they had to get rid of their bike, for instance, right? How many of them have you heard, like, man, I need to get a bike again?
Every one of them.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's single like, one of them.
That's where it goes back to not being a hobby, man. Like, once it's in you, and I get sometimes some things happen, you get scared, and good, sometimes fear is a good thing, and it kind of keeps you from being stupid and gets you off of something that might kill you because your own brain
or money.
I can vouch for that too.
We've all been there.
Those things ain't cheap.
Or you just have family, you have priorities, you got other shit that's got to get handled.
Once you ride a bike and you have the wind in your face and you feel that part, and this is the part I tell a lot of my friends, guys that don't ride, and I try to get to ride, is like, there's not even a therapist that can give you what that gives you. You're in your helmet, or even not on a helmet, but you're on the bike. There's no one talking to you, man. There's no one chattering in your ear.
Yep.
It's just you with yourself. Like, it's you and yourself, man. And you get to like actually talk to yourself and like work through things. And sometimes I find myself like 40 miles down the road, and I'm like, dude, I don't even remember the ride. I'm literally right here, man.
Yeah,
and it's probably.
Have you figured? I don't know about you, but I've been able to figure out the world's problems. I've been able to figure out world hunger, world peace, I've been able to figure all that out from behind my bars inside of a helmet. There is a lot of clarity that comes in between
some demons, man.
Yeah.
Behind that bar, man. I mean, I haven't had a perfect life, and I definitely haven't made the best choices throughout my life. But I can tell you one thing: some of my best moments were sitting on my bike.
Yeah.
You know, it just clarity is an understatement. You know, and I've rode across this country. I've rode state to state. I've done 1,200 miles in a day, you know, and that sounds crazy. People are like, no, there's no way. Believe me, there is. It's it's not healthy, but there is.
I've done it too, bro. I've done it too, man.
Like, and the truth is like, you don't get that experience riding in a car.
Yeah.
You don't get that experience on a plane. You know, not talking down on anyone that trailers their bikes to Sturgis or Florida Bike Week, but like,
maybe I am a little bit.
No, but when you get old, man, like, I get it, and it's brutal. But to a certain point, man, you'll never see the parts of this country, and even if you're out of this country in another, you know, part of this world, you just don't get to see that environment.
Yeah.
Like you do when you're on a bike. You don't smell it.
That's what I've told people, man. You could drive the same road in a car and in a motorcycle, and the experience on the motorcycle, even if you're a rider or the passenger, the experience on a motorcycle is 100 times different because you feel everything. You feel the vibration. You smell the change. You feel the temperature.
Yes.
Your senses are like,
you don't even realize temperature change in a car, right?
Not at all.
You don't,
You're comfortable.
And you're riding a bike across a state, and you know, like specifically, I've done the south to north, where I ride all the way up to Oregon border, and I'm telling you, man, you've never felt a 10-degree change in the matter of a mile like you do on a bike. You know what I mean? And you know, you hit really hard on something, and something that I talk with my business too is smell. Smell's a big one for me. We judge a lot off of smell. You judge a person off of smell. You judge food off of smell. You judge a room by smell.
Very true.
Smell is something that, like, when you're crossing the country and you're smelling all the smells, and we all know how that 5 is going north, man. you start to smell things, and you register it. You know, you're like, I'm not gonna call out Bakersfield, but like, you know. There's just a smell that you kind of put with that travel, you know, and I think, you know, like we said, you just don't experience it the same.
Well, it tattoos the memory kind of into your brain when you experience the senses, and you know, you hear it, you smell it, you feel it. It's a different experience, man. So, on that note, man, the smell portion of it. I know you said your business. You're a hustler, dog. You're a hustler, man.
I am a hustler.
You and I think that's why we get along well. We click. We understand each other because a hustle is a hustle. A grind is a grind, man. We live here in California. Let's be real.
You almost have to have a hustle, even if you work 40 hours a week. If you don't have a hustler
bone in you, boy, you're gonna have a hard time making it here in this grind.
Yeah, and I live by comfort's a slow death, man. And if you get comfortable in your day to day and you don't have a hustle, man, you're just not gonna see and do the things that you really want to do. I mean, unfortunately, it is expensive. So
it is.
You know, the hustle is real. I do have a hustle.
You got a couple hustles.
I do have a couple hustles.
What's the hustle here, though? You finally dove into something that after 14 years of bearding.
And and it's crazy, man, because like 14 years of having a beard is, I of all people can tell you, I know beard products. Like when it comes,
I would imagine you've dabbled in one or two here along the way.
Facial grooming supplies in general, from brushes, combs to washes to oils to balms. I know them.
You've tried them.
I've tried them. I've tried your box stores. I've tried your salon, your barbershops. I've tried them all. And I'm not going to talk down on any company out there that, you know, have those products out there. I just know I could do it better, you know. And I noticed, you know, specifically after COVID, and I this really is important because after COVID, a lot of people probably didn't realize this, but a lot of the materials and the products and chemicals that we were using in our country, they were shut down, right? And so the demand came back, and it came back with a wave.
Yeah.
And they needed to supply product, and a lot of those factories are closed. A lot of those places
didn't make it through the COVID.
It through it. So I noticed that prior to COVID, there were some really good products out there that I had used for a long time. Products that I could tell you right now, I never had a rash, never felt itchy, never, like my lady's face didn't break out, there was just a lot of things that weren't there. After COVID though, I noticed it.
Gotcha.
And it got to a point where I told myself over the last 4 or 5 years, I was like, it's like, I just need to make my own product. And I'll just tell you, it's not easy. It's not easy.
Any business is not easy, man.
No, if you find an easy business, it's a short-lived one. You know what I mean?
Very well said.
I don't really think that's an instant dollar, and it comes with no longevity, in my opinion. You got to constantly be growing with it.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I guess what really sparked it for me, and you said it, you got to have a hustle. I had some hustles throughout the last 10 years. Some of them washed out, some of them dried up, some of them just got to a point where they were too much work without a lot of comeback.
Return, yeah.
The return was just, as a businessman, the return was shit. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, there's passion, then there's time.
Yeah, and all of those things I'd done, I had passion in, and I lost the passion due to the return being so low.
Understood.
And people are like, well, if it's a passion, you want
No.
You can say whatever you want, man.
Let me put it this way.
I don't do nothing for free.
Time is money.
Absolutely.
That's it, man. Time is money.
And money brings the security of happiness for me, and that's for me, that's what it is. It gives me security of knowing that I can do things and spend time with my kid and go on trips and do all those things. Make memories, man. Make memories. So with the product, I had kicked it around for a long time. There was a gentleman here locally in Ventura County. His name was Mike. He passed away. But he was into the beards, and we did some beard competitions out of COVID. And it got me back into it. My beard used to be down on my belly button.
You've trimmed a little bit.
I do. I trim it now because it just overall work related. It gets caught in drills. It's yeah,
kind of a safety thing as long as it goes along with it.
Yeah, it is a safety thing. And I kind of like it at this point. Like I'm looking in the mirror right now. It's
how long is it? That's gotta be. That's probably gotta be a good.
If you measured it out,
13, 14 inches.
Yeah, I'm like 13 to 14 inches.
Yeah.
So,
and gotta be hot, dog.
No, we'll get back into that. We'll get back into that.
Okay.
But the product was like, I just wanted to make something. And so with Mike, he had kind of got me in working with some other beard companies that were like myself now, where they were startups. They were really trying to bring something to the market. There were some factors in it that I just didn't like. And it wasn't necessarily that the product was garbage. It was the smell, okay? We're going to pinpoint on some things here that really pushed me to do what I did. So I kind of was like, screw this, man. I'm going to just work. And I've been an electrician for 20 years. So,
that's the trade.
That's my trade. That's what I do. It's what I'll probably die doing. It's my business, that's what I do.
Yeah.
It's my security.
Yep. I got one of those too, man.
I think we all should or do have one of those. And that for me has been something I've always fallen back on. And it's something that's always provided for my family. So I'll never push that to the side.
There you go.
But with the product, I had told myself, I can do this. And I have a friend that's in the CBD industry, and he's really good on chemistry and everything. And he told me, you could do this. So I tried doing some mixtures back in the day. It was a couple years ago. They were garbage, man. They were just bad.
At least you recognized it.
Yeah, they were bad. And so let's fast forward to about 6 months ago. I was working. I was on a job, and I was in a lady's house, and I am a spiritual person, but I'm not I feel energies, but I don't embrace them with people I don't know. That's the best way I could say it. This lady I was just drawn to her. Something inside of me was just drawing me to this woman. And I get, again, the goosebump thing, man. There was something that she had knowledge of that I needed to know, and a wisdom, and I didn't expect it to happen the way it did, but she asked me to pray with her, and it's not something I normally do, and I just knew that I was supposed to. So
that's the man upstairs talking to you.
Yeah,
in my opinion, man.
Again,
in my
man,
faith, in my belief.
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you.
That is that.
And so I prayed with her, and I had like a euphoria like feeling over me, man. It was like almost like I tell people like I almost blacked out in a sense. Like it was, this is the first time I've shared this. It was.
I appreciate you being vulnerable in that sense, man.
Transparency, 100%. So I basically, after we got done praying, and she said, "Is there anything you want to ask me?" And that was heavy for me. Wow. That was heavy, and I said, "Yeah, I do." I said, "How do you do it?" Because I could see she had this beautiful home. She had this energy about her, and she said, "I've survived cancer 7 times."
Wow.
And I said, "What?" She's like, "I've survived cancer 7 times. I've beat cancer 7 times." And she put it to the man upstairs.
Pointed upstairs, man.
And I said, "But how do you, like, what makes this all possible?" She had, like I said, she had a beautiful home. She seemed like she had a beautiful family, and she was by herself. She was widowed.
Okay.
So she said, "Well, you know what I do is I find a product that I really like and that I can stand behind, and I make it myself." And I was like white label? And she was like, "Yeah, in a sense, but like if you find something you can believe in and you can stand behind, you can make it your own." And in my head, it clicked. It
Very
clicked.
true.
I was like, I just need to really put effort into this beard product, man. I need to figure this out. Like, there's a reason why she's telling me this. So I went home and I started doing research. And in my head, I was vegan for 9 years. I'll just tell everybody that. Yeah,
My
I
brother's
was a
vegan.
diehard vegan. And in that process, I also learned that, like, the things you put into your body and put on your body, this is your biggest organ, is your skin.
Yeah.
It's really important. And natural from the earth is the best you could use, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I told myself, if I'm going to make a beard product, I'm not just making a beard product, I'm making an experience. I'm going to make it something that is not like everyone else, but it's not just one thing. It's going to be the soaps, the balms, the conditioners, the oils, like everything.
All treatment.
All treatment. The experience, man.
Yep.
So I started doing research, and I started reaching out to companies who are specialize in FDA approved, all natural ingredients, essential oils. And I started working with a few different companies throughout the Northwest, Oregon, Utah, Idaho. And I was basically testing them. I wasn't testing them as a company, because I had already background checked the company. I already knew what they were using and what they had. What I was doing is I was guinea pigging it myself.
I gotcha.
And so I started using these products, a month at a time. And I would use their whole line. And these are all companies that don't necessarily are like out in the big number. They manufacture on a big scale, but in a scale that you would never know. They're just like the small mom and pops, but they just make it for special people that figure it out.
Yep.
And what I did was I found a company who not only were they the most respectful and transparent and just open-minded and heard my goals of what I was trying to do, they gave me options that no one else was able to do.
Nice.
And not only that, their product is phenomenal. And I worked with them. I made a deal and a contract with them, and then I started making my own scents. I tried to get a smell that like was really specific to my experience and the experience I wanted to share with the world.
Gotcha.
I'll go back to the whole shit products from the past. I think we can relate because we all have facial hair here, and I'm sure we've all used a
Feels
facial...
like 90% of bikers have.
Yeah, hence why I'm working.
You're also in the right world.
Yeah. Hence why the events and going out and giving out samples at these events is like my main goal, is because that's where a lot of us are. You know.
Yeah.
So what I noticed is, and you guys could probably relate to this, is a lot of the products smelled like a wood chip pile, smelled like a whiskey barrel, a tobacco container. Like you started hitting these smells that like, you almost like, oh, this is a man's smell, right? Yeah. Let me tell you, something I have learned throughout the years of being a ladies' man, ladies don't like those smells. They do not like to smell like a pine tree on their face. You know what I mean? Like, they don't like that. And
makes sense.
It is. And again, it's an experience. And so what I did was I decided that my product line was not going to bring an experience of living in the woods or being stuck in a whiskey barrel, or like a cigar shop. Like, that wasn't my thing, man. Like, what I wanted I wanted a sophisticated, elegant smell for a man where his lady was actually the one buying the product for him. Because, again, I'm giving you my whole marketing ideas here, and how I marketed myself is how often do men actually go buy beard products? They don't. I did the studies. They really don't. They only buy it off of convenience. They're at a store, they see it, they buy it. They see it, they smell it, they buy it. They don't actually go out of their way to get those kind of products. And so for me, what I wanted to do is I wanted to bring a product and a whole line of products that your woman would be like, oh my God, my man needs to smell like this.
Yeah.
And so, I work with 5 different scents, and they all hit towards women and what women like. A lot of them smell like, a couple of them smell like Gucci. There's a few others that, hit a couple other nice, none of them are like anything else out there.
Listen, smart. Because we're men.
Yeah.
And whether you're a married man, a boyfriend, or a single man.
Or looking,
Or whatever, you do want to attract your wife, your girlfriend, or some girl that you're trying. And
it doesn't matter.
And I'll tell you, like, from experience, there are the thing that I get most from my wife, probably, because I don't wear it often. Like, I'm not a cologne kind of guy. A beard product, that type of stuff, yeah. But I'm not a cologne type of guy. And so when I do wear it, my wife notices
absolutely really
quick.
Absolutely. And
it does something for her. There's an attraction there.
That was what I wanted.
I mean, men and women are totally different creatures, man.
100%.
Men will just look at tits and ass.
Yep.
And they'll look at a pretty face and a pretty smile. Women will notice your eyes, the smell of the smell of you. Are your shoes clean? Like, they don't, totally different points of view and what attracts women. But in my short 42 years of on this earth, happily married now, but in my single time, smell is probably one of the biggest things that I can go back and hit with you on and go, yeah, that is a big thing to women. If you smell bad, nobody wants to be around you. You go to the gym and you're stinky.
But it's a pheromone. You know what I mean?
That's what it is. That's exactly.
And with smell, that's in our DNA, man. Like, that is something that all the way through the history of even all animals and humans, our pheromones is what attracts you. You're attracted to somebody, and sometimes you could be like, man, I don't even know why I'm attracted to that person. It's a pheromone. Your body's telling you something different. And that's where the experience of being able to say, when your lady comes home with my product and says, babe, I really want you to try this. And you're like, well, of course. Are you not going to try it?
No, of course
you are.
Now,
here's the best part about my product. You use it, and you're like, damn, I smell good. You know what I mean? Like, you smell good. And it's the way we did it with the essential oils is we did it so you're not constantly smelling it in your face all day. Mm-hmm. But it's there. And you get to a point where it's not like you're wearing it right under your nose the whole day. And I've found that some of the oils that they've used in other products, they're not actual essential oils, they're chemicals. And they're like a terpene of sorts, but they're a synthetic terpene. And it kind of sticks around all day, and you're kind of like stuck with it, but it's not good for you.
No.
And so, my goal wasn't to be selling at events for the rest of the life of Thick It. That was not our goal.
Sorry, you said the name. I was just thinking. What's the name?
Thick It.
Thick It.
Yeah. So Thick It is like a thick bush, like a thicker. Yeah. So
Thick?
No, Thickit. All one word. Thick It.
Thick It. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like thicken it. It's like it because not to get so off track with that, but the product is good for you. And so a lot of men out there, I know you guys are going to relate to this, but like you're like, oh man, I can't grow my beard out like that. It starts to itch. You want to know why it itches? I'll tell you why it itches.
Wrong product?
No.
Okay,
We're going to go down to actually how your body works. Your skin can only provide approximately enough oil from its actual skin to hydrate your hair on your face up to about an inch max, inch to 2 inches of hair.
Interesting.
Yeah, once you get past that, it's actually like a wick, man. It is wicking the oil out of your face. It gets dry, it starts to itch, and then you're like, oh, screw that. And then you shave it off and the itch goes away, right? Well, it's because it's not being wicked out of your skin anymore.
Gotcha.
So hydrating your skin with essential oils and also the other products that are in there, which are all natural.
Interesting.
And without getting into our ingredients, all of our ingredients are transparent. They're all on our, on our website. You can see it. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's all stuff that actually hydrates your skin.
When I talk to business owners, a lot of people that come through here, we said it earlier, have some type of other hustle, have some type of other thing. What I always respect and appreciate out of the people, and I'm getting the vibes from you, is that you've taken time and energy and everything to understand and test and try this and try that and compare it and reach out to these people. No, that's not the right avenue for me, and that's not the right smell for me, and that's not, because that's the road that you have to go down
Longevity.
To ultimately be successful. You have to, it's trial and error, it's failure, it's success. Yeah. It's a combination of all the shit.
It's the longevity. And like I said earlier, it's like if I'm going to invest into something, and if I'm going to stand behind something, and I hate saying stand behind them, if I want to stand beside something.
There you go. There you go.
Like, being behind somebody is just waiting for them to fail. You know what I mean? Like, I'm standing side by side with my company. And the reason for that is because I didn't want to bring a product that I also can't say that I like or I would use. Like, there's a lot of people out there that sell stuff that they don't use. Or they don't stand beside or behind or in front of. They just sell it because it makes them money.
So when's this stuff dropping? Do we have it? I mean, I've been kind of watching.
Yeah,
I know you're putting the pieces of the puzzle together.
And so what I did was instead of saying I was going to do something, I made sure I had a product that I could like stand beside before I went through all of the. And let me tell you guys, all of the tariffs with China and packaging and everything that it costs and graphic designing and marketing, like there is a laundry list of things when you bring any kind of cosmetic product to the market. There is a list of things that you have to basically pay and do before you can even get to the part of selling it to the consumer, right? Yeah. But if I would have done all of those other things and not had a product that actually put in there that I could stand behind, and it was pointless. Yeah. So we're, as of right now, our Shopify is up. It's up. It's in its like beta run right now. We're having barcode issues again, like these little things no one understands. Yeah. Most people probably don't realize that a barcode is actually a United States government. It's like legal.
Is it?
Yeah, dude. There's like a whole
like a stamp or something.
Anyone can scan my barcode in the United States and it'll bring it up, the information right to my website. It'll bring up all the information that I've put in. It's licensed to my product. Wow. And so there's like that, like the barcode thing has been huge. It's something I learned. We all been learning. Like, I'm like, well, just slap a barcode on there, and they're like, well, you have 30-something products, that's 30 barcodes. And I was like, wait, what? And it's like, and they're not cheap. And so, and when that product is dead, that barcode is dead. So Shopify is in its beta. We got the Instagram going. That was more or less to kind of push my followers, and I don't have a huge following on Instagram, but I have real followers.
Yeah.
That was to kind of push myself. I mean, I'm the poster child for my product,
Scary, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy. And I didn't want to do that. I will be honest with you. I didn't want to do that.
Who better though? Look at the beard. Look at who better?
I think we hit this earlier on being judged on a daily, like I remember things, you'll notice that. So like I always pinpoint back to it. It's like I didn't want to be the poster child of a product that I actually want to be in mainstream salons and barbershops.
Makes sense.
I didn't necessarily want to be the poster child for a product that I want across this entire country. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't trying to just shoot for California market here. I wasn't. I'm my 24-month goal. And that whole thing starts as of the 1st of this month. We're like, what, a day or two away, right?
Sunday.
Yeah. So, like, my goal was from that point on, in 24 months, to be in more than just one state. And that was like a goal for me. My 10-year goal is to make $1 million a year off the, through Thick It. You know what I mean?
Good
like,
deal,
actually
man.
Profit $1 million. And the goal was to do it in the right way, and so with that, I've slowly been going to the events, throwing samples out, you know, like just doing it in a kind of like a low budget, and it hasn't been low budget. It's been expensive. I'll just be honest, it's not been cheap.
All this time and money into it, and nothing on the return.
But I luckily work around some really, really rich people, and they're not rich because they were given money. They're rich because they're smart and they know how to invest. And I've had people like really give me awesome advice. And it's, if you believe in something, you gotta spend the money, man. You gotta put it in there. And I know some rich people out there will be like, oh, if you got a good idea, you get other people to invest into it. And I don't disagree with that to a certain extent. But spending, $10,000, $20,000 to get my product, to get my name out there, marketing ain't cheap, and I haven't even stepped into that part yet. I've tried to do it with reels and do it all. I've started to realize that social media is huge, right? But me being the poster child of that, I now see the importance of it.
Yeah.
Because I could go grab anybody that has a beard and maybe they're good on film and maybe they're handsome and they don't have tattoos all over their face and body and everything. But the truth is they don't believe in the product.
Yeah.
They don't know the product.
Yeah.
And so for me, like, within this next 6 months, like, I don't plan on working electrical full time. My goal will be, and I know you know this, dude, you're out traveling, you're going to events.
Yep.
My goal is in the next 6 months to be able to have my guys working. I do my bids, I do my estimates, and I do my stuff. But on those, bike nights and those weekends and those farmers markets, which is another big one that I'm going to be hitting all the way up to the Bay, just hitting the markets, because the hipsters love my product, and they love beards, I've had a beard before hipsters made it not cool, but, they love the product because at the same time, they love healthy living.
Yeah.
That's kind of their thing. And it's a healthy product that it actually makes you better,
Well, I think like in business, man, one of the most important things for me that I've learned through this trial, because I'm still learning every day. I'm learning something new,
if you're
man.
Not, you're stale.
Yeah, 100%. And one of the things that I have, I don't think not learned because I knew it, but that I've recognized and connected the dots is exactly what you're talking about. Is I got a phone that can connect me to a bajillion people through Instagram and YouTube in a minute, right? But and people could see my face and they can hear my voice and they can like it and they can comment and they can do all that shit, right? And I can have 10,000, 20,000 people following whatever media shit we have. The difference, what separates it, and where I make the connection of now, not only I don't have just a follower, I have a friend, I have a fan, I have a supporter,
Absolutely.
I have somebody that knows me, that saw me, that I've talked to, that I've looked into their eyes. Call it homo, call it whatever you want, man. But when you put boots to ground, and you get out there amongst the people, that's the difference. You got to be active on that social media shit. You got to be out there. It's essential in today's world, but it's not everything, and it is not what will drive and give you that long-term success. What you're talking about is the recognition that I have made because I started with the podcast, and I started with, sitting in front of a camera. I started with that shit. That's where I started. And yeah, it feels good. And like, oh, look I'm getting followers. I'm getting this, I'm getting that. And then I developed where I got to where you're getting to now, where you're going to go and hit these events. You're going to go to farmers markets. You're going to go to events. You're going to go hand out stuff. I started getting to that point where I'm like, hey, I'm at events. And then that's when I go, oh, wait a minute. This is where I need to be. They need to see me on the screen.
Yep.
They need to recognize that, hey, that's Ray, that's Throttled Roots, that's Joe, that's the brand, that's them. There they are. Look at them. That right there, man, you having, and I'm nobody, my opinion means shit in the long term to people, but you recognizing that, you got the goosebumps earlier. It gave me the kind of the heebie-jeebies going, he's got it. He's in that spot that I was in a year and a half, 2 years ago, where he set the kind of foundation. Yeah. And now he's setting the goals. What I like when I have conversation with people that are going into business, man, is how their perspective is on business. And you're like, in 6 months, I want to have this, or this is my goal for the next 6 months. This is my goal to have in 5 years. This is my goal to have in 10 years. It is achievable, but it is absolutely essential for you to know what those goals are, so that you fucking drive down the lane to get to those damn things. But then actually going out and fulfilling them, hitting the events, the farmers markets, the biker events, wherever you think your product or your brand or your whatever is going to fit in, or you want to present to.
Yeah, and I've tried, and I don't like saying mold, but I have molded myself to the market that I'm trying to go towards, and the whole motorcycle biker, lifestyle, like, that's just who I am, right? And that's just what I know. But
because that's easy, that's what you know.
It is, man. That's easy. It's what I know. But now, in like we were talking about the whole electronics thing, like, you get pushed into a whole different category, and it makes you learn something new. And learning marketing and learning content, and like, what is good content, what's bad content, that's something that's been hard for me, I'll be honest. I was on OnlyFans for quite some time, so when it comes to content, like, content to me goes one way. We got a thirst trap this shit, It's like I'll get that content, like, I'll get that dollar, but that's the truth, is that's not longevity, and I definitely respect anybody that hustles. I have nothing against anyone that does OnlyFans or anything like that. It's just the longevity of it is that something I want to represent? And that isn't. So what I wanted to represent I wanted to represent what people see when they're out at events and they see me. Yeah. Right. And for me, like, it's changed the way I do things, just in the way I'm now going to events. Like, I live club life, like, I'm transparent. I don't hide it, but you won't see me in my cut. You're not going to see me out there at events pushing my brand, wearing colors and doing all these things, because at the end of the day, that's my lifestyle. This is my business. Smart. And there's a couple cats that you also know in this, that are in our same lifestyle and industry, that basically pulled me aside, and they're big now, they're big guys, and especially down in Dago, and they're like, hey man, like, we love you, dude, but like, we're gonna give you some learning lessons right now, and you don't know who that is, right? And I was like, well, I know who he is. But did you know who he is in his life? Like, his lifestyle? Like, no, I would have never known he was, so-and-so with so-and-so, Yep. And I'm like, no way. And the reality is I wanted to separate myself away from not necessarily my lifestyle, but from my club life, to allow myself to be professional. Yeah. And that's been a hard one for me. Again, I'm transparent. I ain't bullshitting nobody. Like, it is what it is. And it's hard for me to accept that, but again, the longevity and understanding the marketing side and going to events, I had to put my pride to the side. Yeah. The ego had to go to the side, and that's been a learning one for me. But that's what's going to allow Thick It to be successful. Yep. It's what's going to allow Thick It not to be pushed and sold by people that aren't part of Thick It. Yep. Not just employees of Thick It, but like, I wanted myself to be out there, and I wanted to be able to push that product so people remember, like, oh, yeah, dude, that's life of a Viking god, man. Like, he's the one that owns Thick It. Like, oh, he's the one doing this and doing that. And the truth is I I'm a good guy, man. Like I live by morals. We talked about that a little bit. You know, your morals come from many different things, and the truth is like I wanted Thick It to be more than just a beard product. I wanted it to be more than just an experience. I wanted it to be something that gave back to the community in whichever way I could. And you know, again, not trying to plug anything here, but like we have like some big goals, and you said like without goals you can't really have, like, you don't know where you're going, man. You're like, there's no road if there's no goal. And like we're trying to get with, you know, and maybe your followers can, you know, and your listeners and viewers can help us out on this one, but we're really looking to work, we're looking to work with a rescue for the pitties. It's not that we don't love all animals and rescues, but like the misunderstood, the judged, the book cover, you know, the pitties, man. I've owned pitties my entire life. I've rescued them, and they don't get a good life, man. They kind of just get a bad rap, and you know, there's nothing. Man, I'm gonna get choked up here. There's nothing sadder than seeing a pitty sitting in a rescue or in the Humane Society for a year or two, and seeing all these people walk by every day. That shit's gonna get me. And know that like they're not going home with that person. You know what I mean? Like that shit, that tears me up. Dude, it tears me up, man. You can see I'm getting emotional.
That's all good, homeboy.
It tears me up, man. And so
I feel that, man. You know, it's interesting, man. We as bikers can relate 100% to that shit, man. Because you get put in that box.
It sucks, put in that box. It sucks because my book cover doesn't actually match the book. Like if you knew my whole story, you'd be like, whoa, shit. You know, like I've never been to prison. You know, like I don't have these tattoos to be cool or get through life in behind bars. No, everything on me means something. It has a meaning to me. But pitties, dude, they get this. They don't get a choice, man. You know what I mean? They didn't get a choice to be there. And a lot of times they're in that position because somebody didn't realize that having the responsibility of owning them and having a landlord that doesn't like them or an insurance company that says you can't have it. And then like the reality of having to move and not being able to bring what should be your fur child with you. You know, like these poor dogs, man. Like they just get a really bad rap. So us at Thick It, we are 100% guaranteeing that when we find our forever family, our forever rescue, with every purchase of every item that comes off of our website, in person, everything, we're donating $1 for every single transaction.
Respect,
for the life of Thick It, man.
Respect,
and that is gonna. We don't care about the tax write-off. We don't care about none of that. What we do is we want the experience to not just be something for you and your face and your body and whatever not, but it to help something that really matters to us at Thick It.
Respect, you know? Dog. Respect,
so, man. That's a big one for us. And the second.
So, are you looking for like a organization of sort? Is that kind of what you're?
And we've shouted this out on the Instagram before, and I have been given some leads on some ones, and I'm gonna be honest with you. When I say this, when we're looking to be a forever family with these people, that means Thick It and Thick It's followers and friends and family are donating our time. We're going to go out and help. We're going to do donations. We're going to go. It's not just $1 per transaction. It's the giving back to that whole organization. And so what we're looking for is we're looking for a legitimate rescue that really, really puts in that time. And it's not just, again, a fly-by-night thing. I'm looking for, and I don't like calling it a company, but like I'm looking for an organization that's literally there for the pitties, man.
I feel you, man.
And so we ask, hit the DMs, dude. Send us those rescues. Send us whatever and we're screening. We're trying to do me
a solid and TR a solid yourself and pitties and the pit bulls themselves. Tag us in anything, man, because I want to help share, because that is it's noble, it's respectable, it's home for you. I can tell that it's a string on your heart.
My 3 generations have been owning pitties in our family.
I have a friend who has a pit as well, and I have a boxer, and they grew up together. He lives in Moore Park now, so the dogs don't get to see each other as much as they used to. But I would pick up his dog every now and then and go, hey, I'm going to the park. You want me to go pick up Naya? And can I bring her to the park so that Autumn and Naya can go run around and shit, man? And so I would. And it was then that you could look around and you could see somebody go like super long way around, or they would, like bring their dog in close, you know, and I'm like, man, that's like, this dog is
almost
racist.
in dog culture, man.
It's 100% the way that it is, man.
Yeah.
And they do have that rap, and it's unfortunate that they have that rap, but it's, as a dog owner, it's always the dog owner that on how
Absolutely.
a dog reacts, or
You don't
how a
walk
dog's
him enough,
personality
you put him in the
is,
backyard. You don't,
you chain that dog.
Chain him
And
the thing about pitties, and I'm sure some people know this, but like pitties have been known throughout the entire time pitties, that breed's been around, as the babysitter dog. That dog is specifically to watch your children. It is a protector. It will literally give, and this is where me and my code in life, I protect 3 things in life, my brother. I'm going to tell you what I live by. This is my morals. I protect women, children, and animals. Those are 3 things that don't have a voice, don't have the power, or don't have the knowledge, that are taken advantage of in this world. And those are 3 things that I, as my own humanity of war, like a warrior to that, those are the 3 things I stand by. I protect those 3 things at any cost. I put my life in front of anything for those 3 things.
Respect on
that for life, man.
Respect.
And so seeing a dog breed, and not saying all dog breeds some don't, others do this, but that specific dog breed, it is so built into their DNA to protect their people that it's sad to see them not have any people.
Yeah.
You know, there's no one in their corner, you
Respect
know.
on
And I know I'm not the only one in this world like out there fighting for the pitties, man, but like they're a very misunderstood breed. And I've been misunderstood my entire life, you know. So I can relate.
Get it.
I can
You
relate,
totally
man.
get it,
I can relate. So you know that's a big one for us, and we are looking for some help in that. And it's a lifetime bond. It's going to be a commitment that it's not for a month. It's not some PR bullshit where we're just doing this to get followers. Nah. We don't really care about that.
This is
part.
because it comes from within from you.
And if I have a avenue and I have a revenue income coming in that I can put a specific portion of the profit margins right towards that, dude. I don't care, man. It goes towards that. So, and then our big other thing, man, and to go towards the other thing, again, Thick It's an experience, but Thick It is also based towards giving back. I'm very close with a lot of veterans. Veterans are big to me. My club is a veterans club where most of us, 80% of us, come from military background. And one of our big things that we're working with, and again, I don't want to do a shout out on them right now because it's not proper, because we're not at that point yet, but it's already on paper. We are buying a brand new Harley-Davidson from one of the Harley dealers here in Southern California. We haven't chose that, but we are working on our basically the way we approach it.
The negotiation.
In a very legal but very professional way.
Yeah.
This isn't a raffle. This is a giveaway. And we're going to work with a handful of very good, well-known aftermarket parts companies within our industry and our lifestyle. And we are going to make a Thick It bike, and that bike is going to be specifically to give back to the vets.
Dope.
And I'm not saying that, again, to get PR, but this is just, again, if I can use what I'm doing to put back into the community that's also put me in front of you and put me in this world, then even if it's a lead loss, man, I don't care.
I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm excited for Thick It.
I
mean, I've been watching the build. I've been watching the hype.
It's been slow, but we've been doing it the right way.
Slow is okay.
Yeah.
Slow is good. Slow is methodical.
Yeah.
Slow is working out the kinks. Slow is just
don't want to burn fast, dude.
No, man, like slow is totally okay, especially when you know where you're going. You don't matter how fast. Like, my old man used to tell me when we were riding. Rest in peace, old man. But I used to, my young days. Come on, old man, you fucking slow as shit, and I'm fucking flying, right? I'm screaming, right? And my dad would be like, I'll fucking see you when I see you there. You know where you're going. Yeah. You know where you're going, and he would get there at the end of the road, and he'd be like, we get to the bar wherever we're meeting, or I'd be waiting for him at the end of the canyon, and he goes, hey, did you see that waterfall? What fucking waterfall? Because I was going so damn fast that I didn't even fucking know,
The heron, the turtle mythology, you know, it's the same thing. Yeah, and I appreciate that, man, because like realistically, we just didn't want to. We didn't want to, and I say we. It's a me show here, dude. Like, but it's we.
You're a one-man banner right now.
You always hear me say we because there's my chemist, my pour. You know, there's my container company. There's my graphic designer. You know, there's my marketing helper that's helping me with doing video, and so there is a we. Even though it's me on.
Yeah, well, there's someone at the there's you at the top that is kind of orchestrating this thing.
But I don't believe I'm being a leader at the top of a hill by yourself.
Yeah,
you know
I say the
mean?
same thing. I got Kenny here now, man, and I never thought I'd have a producer. I'd have anything here that would be able to help me make what this is. And so, yeah, I respect how you put that because I try and be mindful of that. I'm like, hey, man, yeah, I might be the one on the camera, or I might be the one that people recognize.
I'm the one that they're coming after.
But none of that shit happens without everybody else that is helping me do that.
It's our team, man, and I do have a small team, and so we at Thick It, we want to make that experience good for all.
Good, man.
And so, and I'm not trying to plug the show on just my company, but like the reality is it's something that we're trying to do to give back, and then also not just give back, but man, provide you with a product that is good for you.
Yeah.
You know, like something that's not just trying to take your dollar. You know what I mean? And our price points are fair. You know.
Well, there's a reason that I asked for you to come and kick it with me, hang out. One, just because you're cool. I want to talk to my people. The people, you know, I want that's what I like to do. But also just simply because of your drive for it, man. I want and I need as a business owner, as a father, as a husband, as a man. I feel like there is, and I have a platform. I've created this platform. I've created this audience to be able to kind of share a message, or at least get messages out there. Not just my message, and not just what I think is wisdom or what I think is truth, but a collaboration of all these people that I know and I talk to and I look up to, I admire, whatever adjective you want to put in there. Yeah. And this is why I was like, I need to have Homeboy. I need to have Dustin come over here, man, because we've had a ton of sidebar conversations just in private, at the Rock Store, at Neptune's, at the bike nights, wherever we've been here. We've had a bunch of sidebar conversations, and for me to know this is a guy that will be able to provide not guidance, because we're not guidance counselors or anything, but somebody be able to take a small piece of your mentality, your approach, your drive, your work ethic, your morals, to take a small piece of it and maybe apply it to there. That's what I like doing.
You said, I'm not your therapist, I'm not your shrink, you know.
I got a nice black couch here, but it ain't
I got a couch for you to sit on, but and it's not a casting couch, but you know, but at the same time, like, you know, it's wisdom, and back to the whole having our dad's friends around and everything. Like, I just, throughout my life, and my grandpa, I put a lot of that love to my grandpa, because he was a hardworking. His family, my family came here from Germany. They ran from bad and evil. Yeah. And they came here to make a better life, and my grandfather really instilled that in me. You know,
you're not around no more, doesn't sound like?
No, my grandpa passed. And just to give you I might have been born here in Thousand Oaks, you know, but I'm not a SoCal kid. I was raised in Minnesota, up in the north by the Canadian border on a dairy farm, man. I woke up.
Is that the whole? Minnesota Vikings.
Well, it's because my family are potato farmers. You know, like we come from traditional farming, and all Vikings were farmers. You know, traditionally Vikings were just farmers, and when they needed what they needed, they went out and did what they had to do. You know, and taking land and conquering and pillaging and do whatever they did it at the beginning of it. They're family men, they're farmers, and they were there to provide for themselves and their community. It's why I stand behind being, and my lineage is exactly what it is. I'm an Eastern Germanic Swede with Scandinavian, as white as you get, but you know, at the end of the day, like I hold true to my traditions of giving back, but also fighting for the things that are right. And as being a farmer, like I grew up as a dairy farmer. I threw hay bales every year, and I did that till I was 18 years old, and then I came back out here to be with my dad. So I grew up with those morals, and my grandfather taught me very, very very early on that if you want something, you got to work for it.
Yeah.
You know, our family came here. He was the only surviving child. His brothers and sisters died on the boat. You know,
Wow.
he if it wasn't for him surviving,
That's a trip, dude. Like,
Yeah.
to you're coming to a new land,
yeah,
and you ain't coming with the people you left with.
came with nothing.
It's a trip.
Nothing. And they were on a wagon with horse drawn, and they spent about 4 months on the East Coast, and they were told that, you know, there's land that you could homestead in northern Minnesota, and that's what my great grandfather did. He went and he homesteaded, and he for years fenced in property and did everything he had to legally to get that land. And in the end, my grandpa inherited like 800 acres of farmland.
Wow.
and timber. And so I was raised in a different way, man. I was raised working hard. Like, my mornings from the age of 12 on, I woke up at 5 o'clock. We were 45 miles away from school, so we rode a bus. It was usually an hour-long school ride. And me and my cousin would wake up. We would go help put the first round of cows on the suckers in the machines. We would come in, eat our breakfast, get our stuff, jump on the bus. This was every day, man. And we would go to school. We weren't allowed to play sports because we had to come back home and work.
Had work to do.
And who was going to come pick us up in town and bring us all the way back? It just wasn't economically even feasible. And then when we got back, the third round of cows would be coming off, and we would pull them off, sweep stalls, do whatever we had to do, and then we were free to do whatever we wanted. You know, homework wasn't really that important. You know, it wasn't. We were, don't get me wrong, you wanted good grades, but like it was the work, you know?
I teach it's interesting that you say that, man, because I get shit for it from my wife, and maybe my daughter, my oldest daughter and her mom, we aren't together, but my wife, I've said the same thing to my daughter, and she quoted me recently. She said, well, Dad said homework isn't and school isn't like that important. I said, well, wait a minute.
Love how they remember
Let me go. Yeah, I know how you remember that. I said, let me go back. Let me context that for you.
Yeah.
Because it's not so much the subject and the matter that you're doing. It's the ethic.
Yeah.
It's the work ethic.
Yeah.
It's like it's that you need to take from it. You know.
Yeah.
That's why. And when you say homework wasn't that important, we it's because that work ethic that you had at 12 years old translates to the work ethic that essentially you have today.
Yeah, and I have a weird theory on the homework thing, and that goes back to the fact is like when you work a normal job, right? You go home, do you get paid to do work at home?
Well, no, but I got work.
No, and some of us do. I get it. Some of us have salary, but in reality, when you're working, which school's pretty much just getting you ready for the working force.
Kind of, yeah.
You know, you coming home and doing hours of homework when in all reality, in my opinion, that's the school's job to get done when you're at school.
That's true.
You know,
that's true.
And when you come home, that's my time to make memories. That's my time to teach you.
Yep.
That's me to teach you life.
Yep.
You know, and so I don't push homework very hard on my son. I don't think it's the most important thing. I think it's the school's job to do that while he's at school for 6 hours. You know, like you know, at the end of the day, like I want him to come home and not necessarily have the stress at 9 years old to do homework. I want him to come home and be able to work on his bike and work on his race car. He has a race car. He races dirt track over at Ventura Speedway. So I want him to be able to come home and also learn life skills.
Yeah.
You know, I can't expect to teach my kid life skills when he's coming home and he's doing homework. You know, and then it's like by the time it's just not, I don't think it's fair. And if my grandparents and my mom pushed that on me where it was in the books, like I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't have been an electrician at 19 years old. My grandpa's a lineman, you know, besides doing a dairy farm, he also was a lineman. You know, he worked as a lineman. He was, you know, he had a whole 40-hour, 50-hour a week job, you know, which again, the work ethic was really important, and so you know I do feel that is why I'm the way I am.
Yeah.
And I you know, bless his soul, he best orneriest old man you ever met, you know. But he pretty much put that in me where, he also, you know, he did some extremely good things for this world. And I say this world because my grandfather was responsible for bringing back what's called the American Cream. It was a draft horse that was lost to the ages. It was a draft horse that was used for hundreds of years. And he and my aunt and a handful of other people were responsible for bringing it back from extinction. You know, he worked like half of his entire life to bring back a horse that is now not extinct and is like one of the most beautiful draft horses, you know.
That's cool.
And so it's like he did things for a purpose. So for me, I think everything I've done between family, club, motorcycle lifestyle, business, you know, I put passion behind it.
Good, man.
You know?
I think that's a good note to wrap this thing up with, man, because that is really the type of people that I try and surround myself with. That's the vibe and the energy I got from you from the time we just started seeing each other and talking, man, and learning. I think that's a good thing for people to kind of take away.
Yeah,
you know, I like people to try and take away something from our podcast other than just a smile and a laugh. You know, I like there to be some type of substance there, man. Yeah, a little bit of like, I need to tune in next week, or I need, you know, something there, man. But Dustin, I'm glad that you're a part of our circle. Yeah. I'm glad that I see you at the events. I'm stoked for your business. I'm excited to see where it's gonna go. I know you're gonna hit the goals that you've set out, man. I will. I love that. I will, man. That's the type of mentality.
It's not part of my vocabulary.
I fuck with that, man. Like if I can't, or if I believe that it's hard, I'll just fucking figure out how to do it, man. That's where it goes, man. Thick It. I want people to know where website, Instagram, where can people keep up?
So Thick It is, you know, ThickIt, one word. Grooming supply. You can find us on Instagram, and from there you can find all of our other links. We are in the first beginning stages of it, so it will slowly come. We do have a TikTok, which, you know, we do have 30,000 followers, but
Damn, you do?
Yeah, but I
need to get on TikTok, boy. I'm not on TikTok, man.
I used TikTok for many years with my beard to like promote my beard in general.
Then you kind of
so what I did is I did the proper thing and I transitioned it into what now is Thick It.
Smart.
Smart move, but it was, you know, a platform that
you had years of building that up to what it is prior.
I've been on TikTok since it began.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never
been on Instagram.
This
Instagram, no, but my original Instagram page, I've had it from the day it went.
Should I get on TikTok, Kenny?
Don't need it. Maybe Reels.
Reels, okay.
The thing is TikTok it's gone different since in the last 6 months it's changed.
It's a lot about live streaming and people peddling.
Yeah, and I did that. Yeah,
I got you.
I did that. And so for me, I'm only using TikTok as an avenue to pull my followers to my actual Instagram, which is part of Thick It.
I gotcha.
But it's also just to pull them in. It's just, again, you understand, followers, real followers, are like real followers.
Yeah.
Are really what you want, because that's how you get in front of people. So. We encourage anybody on your platform to come check us out.
Please do, man. I know I have a ton of friends that have beards and
and here's the thing. I just want to tell everybody, like, definitely come out and check out his events, not just your events, but everyone in the lifestyle that we're all doing. I'm trying to hit as many events here in Southern California, and I have sample bags, man. I'm handing out samples, oils, balms, and we want you to just try it out, you know.
So if you see that big, beautiful beard floating around anywhere,
see me, man, come and talk to me. Come and see me. Ask me for some product, and that's not going to end. Even once we start launching and selling at these events, we're still going to be handing samples out. Because
let me know how I can help. You know, we're at different events, and when you're ready to set up whatever booth or however you're going to be at events, I want to, you know, even if it's a bike night or something like that. I don't know, whatever, man.
Yeah, I'll be there because we got the the easy up. We did the whole process. You know, we got a nice one. We spent the money to get some.
It ain't cheap, huh?
No, it's not, dude.
It's not cheap, man.
If you all thought an easy up was cheap, once you put your logos on it, it definitely gets expensive.
It's like $1,000, man,
yeah,
for a 10.
I think after all said and done, it was like almost 16 because I did banners, I did walls. I did the background. Full background because usually we're all up against a wall. I did half walls on the side so I can see you but not have you come into my area. And then we did obviously the flags, the banners, and then I did the overhang easy up part. It's
they had a little shade type of thing
to shade my products since my products are at the front.
Makes
so
sense.
Keeps them out of the sun.
Makes sense.
You know, I thought it through pretty well. But we did that, and
it's literally your store. It's your mobile store, dude. You got to kind of do it right.
And love to Law Tigers. I know they've in the past they've reached out and you know they're always helping us new brands and everything. I just wanted to be able for you to see me at all three angles.
I feel you.
You know what I mean? Like I wanted you to be able to see Thick It from across the event. And so yeah, we'll be out at your events, man.
Please do, man.
Regardless if it's a small night or a big night, that's our goal. And yeah, I'll be out there. And I just want everyone to know our main reason for coming in slow was because China made it really hard. Our containers are biodegradable. We wanted to make sure that we came with a good product. So in that process, it's been a little bit of a hiccup trying to get that done. We got hit with about a 200% tariff after it was all said and done. Yeah, you know, it hurt.
We're not gonna go down that road. That's a whole nother road, man.
Hurt,
I know. I'm like torn between that shit, man. There's a part of me that's like, yeah, that's something we got to do. And then there's the other part of me that goes, yeah, but it's fucking my homeboys over here that are just trying to do it.
I ate it, man. Like, I ain't going to lie to you. The consumer isn't getting this one. I'm eating this one.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm okay with it. I have an agreement with my container company. 3 a.m. conversations, man, because the time change is pretty brutal. But, we made an agreement that, you know, with tariffs coming down, our product price will come down. A lot of times people don't realize this, but you get a tariff or an increase in price, like an inflation price, and when that inflation goes away, a lot of these companies don't actually bring the price back down.
Yeah, just keep them profit margins.
Their profit margins are big.
Yep.
So we have an agreement and a contract that, you know, with that, it'll come back, which helps us at Thick It. But the consumer isn't going to get hit with that on our end, you know.
It's a good if you can avoid passing on a cost to the consumer, that's best in my opinion. That's best retail practices if you can.
We just didn't want to come to the show and have like 2 of our 8 products. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to do that. And so when we come to your shows and all the other events that we're going to be at, you're not going to just have a choice of just getting a couple things and then we're going to push you to our website. No, I'm there. I got the tap on.
You want Friday. People to go home with the experience.
I want you to be able to have the entire line and make something of it and not be able to just say, hey, you know, we don't have that, go to our website. Like, I want you to be able to get the full experience right there in person, smell it, feel it, touch it.
Good deal.
So, yeah, look for us here in this next 30 days, man.
Please do, man. And I always ask people, once you're here, your family. Once you're on the podcast, man, your family. So anything we can share, anything that we can help in any way we can help, please don't hesitate to tag us, and so that we can help share that information. I like supporting first and foremost our local. Like our local community, that is where my heart is. I'm born and raised in. That's where I'm born and raised in this county, man. In this 805 area, born and raised here. So that is my first want to help that, and then we branch out from there, man. Because these are my people.
Yeah,
you know, these are my people.
We proudly put, you know, Oxnard, California.
Right on, homeboy. I love to see that.
I'm on the south side.
If people are looking at you, Oxnard, where the hell is
that? But at the end of the day, man, I love the Nard, and I will always represent the Nard. It is my home now.
Good deal,
it's
man.
Been for quite a while now, and I will make sure Oxnard, besides all the other reasons, gets put on the map for what I think it is. And we'll most likely probably stay with our business in Oxnard for most of its life, just due to the fact that retail or commercial warehouse locations are a lot cheaper down here.
Yeah,
so,
that's the truth.
And our warehouse is down here, so it allows us to be able to stay here and establish here.
Good
So,
deal, man. Good deal. Well, listen,
I appreciate
everybody.
you.
Make sure you follow. Make sure that you go and follow Thick It Grooming Supplies.
Yes, sir.
That's the Instagram, Thick It Grooming Supplies, and that's the business that you're looking to get your beard done right.
Yeah.
Thick It Grooming, but you want to maybe keep up with the lifestyle and the man.
Yep.
Life of a Viking God. This guy's out there banging miles all the time. Yeah, I see him at events all over Southern California, at our events. He lives it. He doesn't just talk about it. It's a lifestyle, not a hobby for him.
Yep.
You know, he's out there doing the stuff, and extremely, like most of us, approachable. You know, go and just say what's up.
Yeah, the book cover might look one way, but
That's it.
I'm a big teddy bear, man.
That's it, man. Most of us are.
Yeah, I love socializing, so
Most of us are, man. So
I appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for coming down. Just remember, vlogs are dropped every Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the YouTube channel. Podcast we drop every Thursday, 7 p.m. over on the YouTube channel. Keep up with all the things there. Keep up with the Instagram, and we will see you on the next one. Later.
Peace.
Thanks, homeboy. Appreciate it, man.